Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm back to break down this 7-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings. Before we get into it, if you do enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, I would greatly appreciate that. Continue to grow the channel on the way to 500 subscribers, so thank you to everyone that has supported so far. And I'll be here all NBA DFS season long breaking down these NBA DFS slates to help you guys win some money and to help you guys become better NBA DFS players. If you are getting very serious about NBA DFS playing night in and night out, I would highly recommend my NBA DFS package over here on Patreon, where you get access to my premium NBA projections, NBA data sheet, player stats, team stats, play contact stats, core plays, injury impact insights, and NBA Discord chat access. I've been playing DFS, NBA DFS since 2016. I know what these other sites offer. I know that they offer these projections, these spreadsheets, and I've put together a package that offers everything they offer and more at a much more affordable price. You're not getting charged that $30, $40 a month you get charged by these bigger sites. So check that out, link below in the description. And with that being said, let's go ahead and start breaking down this slate today. First game on the slate today, we have Utah taking on Boston, 7:30 lock tonight. So right now, this game comes in with a 228.5 over-under with a 4.5 point spread in favor of the Utah Jazz. So decently paced game, not the fastest paced game, but also not too slow when you think about the Boston Celtics and Utah Jazz, mostly predominantly defensive teams the last few years. However, this one, the pace is expected to be not too shabby. So Jason Tatum at the top at 9.3. I think he's a little overpriced for my liking. Could he get you there? Yes, but against a team in Utah that is very good defensively, I'm not all too interested in him banging down low with help side defense from guys like, a Rudy Gobert. So I'd rather go ahead and target these guys that are a little cheaper. The cheaper guys on this Boston squad are a little more appealing to me. You pay down for 7.9 for Jaylen Brown down here. He's playing around the same minutes, has the same upside on any given night. So I'd rather go down to Jaylen Brown at 7.9, and then you have Kemba Walker at 7.1 and Marcus Smart at 5.7. So if you're asking me to be picking these guys, my favorite probably would be Marcus Smart, to be honest, all the way down here at 5.7. Way cheaper than these other guys. He can have the same amount of upside. He has been limited on his minutes since returning from injury, only playing 21 and 19 minutes, so keep an eye on that one. Of course, we're going to need him to play more minutes if we're going to be playing him, but I do think that this could be the game where he finally climbs back up into 30-plus minutes range. And priced at only 5.7, he can get you there real quick at that price tag. So definitely like some Marcus Smart. And then on the Utah side, it's a little too clogged up for my liking. They're returning a lot of guys that are going to be coming healthy. Mike Conley's back. We got Jordan Clarkson. There was a time there when Mike Conley was out that I was really liking playing Donovan Mitchell night in and night out. Not that Donovan Mitchell is a bad play now. It's just that there's oftentimes games where he's getting his usage cut into by Mike Conley. He doesn't quite get there. Last time out, only putting up 30 DraftKings points, and he's priced all the way up to 8.9. So personally, I'd rather go down here to a Mike Conley or Jordan Clarkson, maybe even a Bojan Bogdanovic. And yeah, that's my reasoning, really. It just comes down to the fact that their price tags, they're having pretty even distribution and usage, and they're not priced all the way up to 8.9. So Cleveland taking on Miami. This game right now comes in with a 10-point spread in favor of the Miami Heat. There is no over-under released yet. I'm guessing that when the over comes out, it's going to be very low, and it's expected to be a blowout on top of that. So going to have limited interest in this one. Bam Adebayo is listed as probable. He's finally expected to be back. We've been seeing Kelly Olynyk start for quite some time now, but expect that to stop. Tyler Hero down here is considered probable as well. So you factor in that this game is expected to be a blowout. You factor in that the Miami squad is expected to get even healthier. And then you factor in that the Cleveland squad's healthy, and they're pretty much a full-on committee rotation as well right now with guys like Larry Nance Jr. returning. You got Chetty Osman, Larry Nance Jr., Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Jared Allen, Windler they're throwing in the rotation, JaVale McGee they're throwing in the rotation. So honestly, I don't think we really need to waste too much time on this one. I'm not going to be playing a lot of plays. If we find out that like Jimmy Butler's out, we could play some Tyler Hero and Goran Dragic and Kendrick Nunn. If we found out Tyler Hero was out, we would have liked these guys better, but that's not the case. So I am looking to fade away, and I will say that Kelly Olynyk is one of the easiest fades on the slate, priced up at 6.6 now. He has been producing at a very high rate, but now that Bam Adebayo is back, that price tag, it's going to be very easy not to play Kelly Olynyk. I don't know if other people are going to fall for it and keep playing him because of how good he's been doing, but don't be one of those people. Atlanta taking on Houston. This game right now comes in with a 8-point spread, no over-under yet released in favor of the Atlanta Hawks. John Wall has already been ruled out for this one. Clint Capella is listed as questionable. Christian Wood is also listed as questionable. which is an interesting thing to keep an eye on. He's been out for quite some time, and he is doubtful officially, so don't expect him to return, but that's a good sign. That means he'll be back, relevantly soon. And then you got Danny House Jr. listed as questionable. DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish continue to be out on the Atlanta side. Excuse me. And so, yeah. I mean, on the Houston side, it's pretty simple. They get a great matchup taking on Atlanta. They're not good defensively. Victor Oladipo at 8-3 is going to be a tremendous play on this slate. He's going to have a lot of usage headed his way. And when you factor in the matchup on top of it, I am going to absolutely love him. I'm sure a lot of the other people are going to love him as well, and his ownership will probably be high, but for a good reason. And then you're playing a Kevin Porter Jr., a Jayshawn Tate as well. Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be the second option you're looking to on this team, consistently playing 30-plus minutes. Last time only playing 30 minutes due to the blowout, but producing at a very high rate. And then as we continue to scroll here, we know that you could play a Jayshawn Tate, but more specifically, KJ Martin's really been stepping it up as of late. Priced up at 5-3 now, after being priced at 3K and 4-5, but consistently putting up mid-30s DraftKings points. So, I do not hate it, especially considering that David Nwab is out. Ben McLemore is listed as questionable. The Houston team's just completely depleted. So, the more these guys that get ruled out, the ones that are in, just throw them in your lineups, feel real confident, because it doesn't matter if they're getting blown out. They still have to be out there. They don't have anyone that they can go to, so you're not worried about that. They're just all going to be great plays. And then on the Atlanta side, we're continuing to see DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish out, as mentioned. Last time out, we had a lot of interest in Gallinari, or at least I did, Gallinari and Kevin Huerter, and I think that we can continue to go to both these guys for sure if Clint Capella continues to be out, because when Clint Capella got ruled out, both these guys I had a ton more interest in. I still have interest in them regardless, but if Clint Capella gets ruled out, we're going to have a bunch of interest again. They get a big bump in usage, and the same rule will apply for Trae Young at 10-2. Not exactly trying to pay up for 10-2, to be honest, unless we find out that Clint Capella is out. If Clint Capella is out, then I'm perfectly okay with paying that price tag. And then the same thing applies for John Collins. Big bump to him. New York taking on Philadelphia. This game right now has a 216 over-under, expected to be very slow, and a 6.5-point spread in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers. We already have news that Joel Embiid is out, so Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris will have big bumps here. Specifically, Ben Simmons, he's a guy that I don't really play a lot until I find out one of these guys is out. On the second they are, I have a lot more interest in him because I think his triple-double upside becomes much more relevant. Expect him to be much more involved on the glass, and for that reason, I'm going to like him a lot more in this one. And the same rule applies to Tobias Harris. More so in the shooting volume for Tobias Harris. When one of these guys gets ruled out, expect him to chuck a lot of shots, shooting 18 times last time out in a game that turned into a blowout. Both those guys make a ton of sense. And then don't forget that Joel Embiid's going to be out for quite some time now with, not quite, a few weeks with an extended knee. So these guys are expected to take on bigger roles for quite some time. And then you got Dwight Howard down here at 6K. Very good fantasy point per minute producer. The only problem is they've been limiting his minutes somewhat. They're playing guys like Tony Bradley, Tybal, and Mike Scott a lot. So just beware of that because he is priced up to 6K with the news that Embiid's out. And not that he can't get you there, but it's not a lock for him to go out there and play 40 minutes right now. And then anyone else, on the New York side, it's fairly simple. You're playing Julius Randle, you're playing RJ Barrett. If Derrick Rose and these other guards continue to be out, you're going to be having a lot of interest in Reggie Bullock, who had a big game last night at 3-8, and then also in Quickly. So just keep your eyes on that one. Quickly priced up to 5-8 now, but we're still going to be playing him if he's playing mid-30 minutes. And like I said, RJ Barrett and Julius Randle, guys I was very high on last night. And Julius Randle went out there and had a huge game, and RJ Barrett had a good game as well. So I expect these guys to continue to have a lot of usage, especially if Derrick Rose, Elfrid Payton continue to be out. Moving further along, Oklahoma City taking on the Chicago Bulls. This game has a 223.5 over-under with a 6-point spread in favor of the Chicago Bulls. Decent pace game, nothing too crazy, but Darius Bazley is listed as out. Maladon and Dort are both listed as questionable, so this Oklahoma City side might be pretty short on bodies. If that's the case, that's great. That's going to provide another spot where we can load up on some plays, so Al Horford already listed as out. Darius Bazley already listed as out. George Hill's been out for quite some time. You got Maudon and Dort listed as questionable. That means that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 8.8 is going to be a tremendous play as a pay-up option. He's going to be relied on very heavily. He already is relied on very heavily in this offense, and then you take these guys out of the equation, and he's going to be relied on even more. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander makes sense in this one. You got Isaiah Roby down here at 5.3, taking on the Chicago front court that I've loved to target all season long. They do not scare me. As a matter of fact, they're very bad down low, so taking advantage of playing him is a good idea. Only issue is they have been starting Thad Young recently, which does increase their defensive appeal slightly, but I'm still willing to take it on, especially with the fact that these Oklahoma City bodies are out. And then you got Pakusevsky down here at 4.4, who continues to see quite a few minutes, putting up 48 DraftKings points last time out, so maybe a bit of an outlier, but once again involved in the rotation. And then you got Kenrich Williams as well. And Moses Brown recently becoming more involved at 3.5. Playing mid-20s minutes. And Mike Muscala down here, a guy that we were seeing kind of fill that role at 3.4, is slowly but surely being kind of faded out of the rotation. So, that kind of gives you a sum up of who you're looking to play here. Definitely prioritizing Isaiah Roby and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And then these other guys are definitely good tournament plays. If we get news that all these guys are like I'm out on like a door, we could be playing a Ty Jerome as well at 4.2. So, yeah, lots of injury news to keep an eye on. On the Chicago side, you're really looking to play Zach Levine at 9K as a pay-up option. Honestly, it kind of feels like a slate where we could play Zach Levine here because he's just been really struggling as of late, putting up like 28, 33. He got up to 50 a few times, but he's been overpriced for quite some time in the mid to upper 9K range. Now he's down to 9K, and he's been pretty dreadful, so I think his ownership could be lower than it should be, which is pretty appealing to me for playing him in tournaments. So just keep that in mind. Zach Levine's due for a big game here soon, and this could be the one. Then you got Lauri Markkanen at 6K coming off some fairly decent performances, putting up 33, 31, and 28 DraftKings points, consistently getting lower 30 minutes. And as he's working himself back from injury, I do think it makes sense to be playing him. And those are the guys that I would be looking to in this game. New Orleans taking on Portland. This game should be a fun one, should be fast-paced. Damian Lillard comes in at 10.8. This game comes in with a 1-point spread in favor of the Portland Trail Blazers. There is no over-under release yet, but as mentioned, I'd expect this one to be a pretty high over-under when the total is released, which means I'm going to have a lot of interest. Damian Lillard specifically at 10.8. This New Orleans defense has been very bad all season long. I think that we can go ahead and play him and feel real confident about it in this one, so definitely be playing some Damian Lillard. And same rule applies for really anyone in this game. CJ McCollum is expected to return. So that's a little bit of a surprise. It even says in the report here, Portland has been awfully quiet about McCollum's progress, but he was cleared to play and will make his return Tuesday. So that throws a little bit of a wrench in the equation as far as Damian Lillard. I do think that I would still be looking to play him. Like, I think McCollum's probably going to be limited on his return, but if we get news that he's not going to be and he's just like been rehabbing behind closed doors and that he's full go, I would really like CJ McCollum at 7.5. So that's interesting news. A little bit of a surprise news there, but glad to hear it. Definitely a fan of CJ McCollum's game, so glad that he's going to be back. Then we have Enes Kanter, Robert Covington, Carmelo Anthony. All of these guys are going to be valid tournament plays, guys. It's actually going to be ridiculous how fast-paced this game is going to be. So, I really have no issues with playing any of these guys. If I'm listing my favorite options on both sides, it's going to be Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball on the New Orleans side, and then Robert Covington, Enes Kanter, Damian Lillard on the Portland side. But feel real confident playing those core pieces in this game tonight. Last game on the slate, Minnesota taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. This game right now comes in with a 225 over-under with a 9-point spread in favor of the Los Angeles Lakers. A fairly high-paced game for this Lakers squad, and they do get a bump up in pace taking on this Minnesota team. So LeBron James, Kyle Kuzma are going to continue to be guys that I'm going to want to be playing, as well as Montrezl Harrell with no Marc Gasol. All three of these guys actually really pique my interest tonight. Specifically, the cheaper guys like Montrezl Harrell and Kyle Kuzma down here at 6K, 6.2, even a Dennis Schroeder at 6.3 make a lot of sense to me. in this game with the Minnesota squad that just can't play defense. And with the spread being the way it is, maybe this is a game they kind of take it easy on LeBron James minutes. I mean, LeBron James will never get a break, really. The game log might still say 40 minutes, but maybe he's less involved, should I say. Maybe they're mixing in him, taking him out every other 4 minutes instead of 6 minutes type of deal. And you can definitely capitalize on that by playing some of the younger bodies and guys like a Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, and a Dennis Schroeder. Specifically, Montrezl Harrell and Kyle Kuzma would be my favorites ones because they're not directly correlated with LeBron James at the guard position, whereas Dennis Schroeder more so is. So I'd rather go to them, but they both make a lot of sense for me on this one. And then who you're combating it with on the Minnesota side, it's Karl-Anthony Towns, it's Anthony Edwards. They both continue to take on a massive role with there being no D'Angelo Russell, being no Malik Beasley. So I have no issue with playing these guys, specifically Anthony Edwards, just playing a ton of minutes, the young rookie, being pushed to grow his game, and for good reason. They invested in him first round in the draft, so good to see that, and those are the guys that I'm looking to in this one. Before I let you guys go, I got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Montrezl Harrell at this price tag, 6'2", taking on the Minnesota squad that has been dreadful defensively and getting a bump up in minutes with no Marc Gasol. I absolutely am going to love him. Last time out involved in a blowout, ending in 128-97. Montrezl only played 25 minutes, put up 39.75 DraftKings points, and that's the kind of upside that this guy is capable of in limited time. We saw him play 32 and 33 minutes before. I mentioned this game having a higher spread, but with the Los Angeles Lakers being on a back-to-back, there is more likelihood the game stays close, and for that reason, I'm even more confident in Montrezl Harrell. Love him at this price tag. Get him in your lineups because he is my lock of the night. So there you have it, guys. Montrezl Harrell. Get him in your lineups. And that is all for me in this one. If you did enjoy the content, if you could please leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. I would greatly appreciate that. And then if you're getting serious about NBA DFS, wanting to win some money, highly recommend check out the KJK DFS NBA package, link below in the description. That is all from me. Wish you all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.